So this is my first live on YouTube. So that is super exciting. I'm also going to be streaming into my Facebook group. So I'm going to start that right now as well. So if you're watching me live on YouTube, thank you for joining. And here we go. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. Happy Monday. Happy July. I cannot believe that we are already into July. 2024 is just freaking flying by. And I hope you had an amazing and a safe holiday weekend. And, of course, if you're in the US, if you're somewhere else around the world, you hopefully you still had a great weekend, but it may not have been a holiday like it is for us celebrating our independence and our amazing country. So, of course, I was working, so it was super busy, but that makes the day go by fast, which always is helpful. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Tanya Richards. I am a wife to Kevin. We live in Grand Lake, Colorado, and I have two children. Shayla is 27 and Daniel is 17. And Shayla has three beautiful babies that are my grandchildren. Adeline is 9, Caden is 7, and Miss Sassy Pants Aaliyah is 5 years old. And I have a Chiweenie. He's Chihuahua and Dachshund mix, and he's only about this big. He's about 5 pounds. If you see my Facebook, you probably see him on there, and he's the emotional support dog that I didn't even know that I needed until I had him. So I love him so much. You can see I've got this big, I don't know if you can see it on here, but I've got this big wall clock that's all like, it's Chihuahuas, but it looks like him with the big floppy ears. So I love him. All right. So today, what I want to ask is to share, what are you celebrating this week? If you're live with me today, welcome, absolutely. But kind of pop in the comments what you're celebrating. And if you're catching the replay, make sure to put a hashtag replay and let us know what you're celebrating. Remember that anything big or small that you've accomplished is a win. Every step you take toward a goal is a win, and we need to celebrate those. And we're going to talk a little bit about why that is important throughout today's topic. So we're diving into the incredible world of brain chemistry and psychology. We'll explore how our brain's chemical makeup influences our thoughts, our behaviors, and our reactions. So, when you understand the science behind our brain, it's easier to learn what we can do to manage it. So, we'll start with the neurotransmitters. And what a neurotransmitter is, it's a chemical messenger that transmits signals across the synapse, which is the gap between the nerve cells in the brain and other parts of your nervous system. And these chemicals are essential for the proper functioning of the brain and your entire nervous system. And it influences various physical and psychological functions. So some of these transmitters are dopamine. Dopamine is often referred to as like the feel-good transmitter, and it's associated with pleasure, motivation, and reward. So this is when we talk about when you achieve something, your brain releases dopamine and it gives you that sense of satisfaction. And when you celebrate that achievement, it increases that dopamine level. Then we have serotonin, and this neurotransmitter helps regulate your mood, your sleep, your appetite. And high levels of serotonin are linked to feelings of happiness, well-being, while low levels can contribute to depression and anxiety. And none of us want that. And then we have cortisol. It's known as the stress hormone, and cortisol is released in response to stress or fear. So it helps your body react quickly to threats, but can lead to negative effects if your levels remain high over time. So when neurotransmitters interact with each other. So for instance, if you have an imbalance in your serotonin, it can also affect your dopamine levels, which might influence your overall mood and your motivation. So let's talk about kind of the role in emotions and behaviors. So dopamine, that's your motivation and reward. So when you set and achieve goals, your brain rewards you with dopamine, which encourages you to continue to strive toward your goals. And this is why celebrating small victories can be so effective in maintaining motivation. I'm repeating myself because I love this aspect of um, the reasons we celebrate when we hit achievements. And it can be anything. I mean, there are days that I am celebrating that I put on a bra because that is a huge celebration. I'm off just on Mondays from my food truck, is what I do 6 days a week. And there, some days I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want to lay in bed and get and just relax. But so that is a small win, and it's important. We celebrate that, right? Serotonin's roles. Oh, so the actions and habits of dopamine plays a role in forming habits and also addictions. So understanding this can help you develop healthier habits and break free from detrimental ones. So one that I had a hard time with, but it's 10 months now. I have been Monster Energy drink free, and it was a little dopamine kick for me when I'd have them. And so it took a while to get that out of my system and not need it and not feel that habit, right? Because it's more of a habit. And your brain still, I go to the store and I see it and I'm like, oh, I'm out. Nope, I don't need that. I don't do that anymore. But that habit process is still like, oh yeah, hey, you get those. Those are Tanya. That's what you do. So that's kind of like the addiction and habits of the dopamine. Now, when you look at serotonin's role, it's your mood regulation. So it helps to stabilize your mood, reduce anxiety, and it promotes that feeling of happiness. So practices such as exercise, sunlight exposure, and a healthy diet naturally boosts serotonin levels. Higher serotonin levels can enhance social behavior and relationships, making you feel more connected and empathetic toward others. Now, cortisol's role. It's your stress response. It prepares your body to handle stressful situations by increasing your heart rate, your blood pressure, and your energy levels. However, chronic stress can lead to consistently high cortisol levels, which can be harmful. The health impact of that is prolonged exposure to those high cortisol levels. Cortisol levels can result in health issues like anxiety, depression, even digestive problems, and cardiovascular diseases. So, understanding this can help you implement some stress management techniques to maintain balance. So, kind of a little bit of a scenario is you have a stressful situation. So you're preparing for like a big presentation at work. And as that day approaches, you start feeling anxious and stressed. And then your cortisol spikes. Your brain releases that cortisol. It heightens your alertness and your focus to help you perform well. Now, while this is beneficial in the short term, continuous stress can lead to burnout. Then your dopamine and your serotonin jump in and you complete the presentation successfully, releases the dopamine, gives you a sense of accomplishment. And if you've been practicing self-care and mindfulness, your serotonin levels may also be higher, helping you feel calm and happy after the event. So, increasing levels of dopamine and serotonin can help improve your mood, your motivation, overall well-being. And I want to just talk a little bit about some natural lifestyle based strategies to boost these neurotransmitters, or in the case of cortisol, you want to kind of decrease those, right? So to increase your dopamine levels, you want to have, I'm just checking, making sure Yep, I'm still alive. Um, Proper diet and nutrition. So you want to have protein rich foods. So consuming foods that are high in tyrosine. I don't do good with these scientific names. It's an amino acid precursor to dopamine, and that's lean meats, fish, eggs, dairy, nuts, beans, and soy products. They help boost dopamine production. Also, the antioxidant rich foods like berries, nuts, vegetables, they help promote dopamine neurons from damage. Exercise. I talk all the time about, starting your morning with a little bit of exercise. It doesn't have to be huge, but it's just enough to get your body um, up and active and consistent. Um, but especially more aerobic exercises like running or swimming, cycling, those help boost dopamine levels by increasing the number of dopamine receptors, and it enhances dopamine release. Having adequate sleep. We should get 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each night. And that helps maintain dopamine levels because that production is regulated by the body's sleep wake cycle. And of course, we're talking mindfulness and meditation. So, practices like these also increase your dopamine because it reduces stress and promotes relaxation. Music and hobbies. Engage in hobbies and activities that you enjoy, whether that's listening to a music, playing a musical instrument, or pursuing a hobby. It can stimulate dopamine release. And this one I thought was interesting. It's just sunlight exposure. Spending time in natural sunlight increases your dopamine levels because light exposure helps regulate the production of your neurotransmitters. So now how do we increase serotonin levels? So again, with the diet nutrition, tryptophan rich foods, this is an amino acid precursor to serotonin. So foods that include this are turkey, chicken, eggs, cheese, nuts, salmon, tofu, and pineapples. I thought that was interesting. Like everything is more protein, and then you've got pineapples in there. Complex carbohydrates. So make sure you can consume those whole grains, fruits, and vegetables. They increase the serotonin production by aiding in tryptophan transport to the brain. So I thought of this when I was doing the research for this. It's like when you get to Disneyland, because we just went like in May, you get to Disneyland and then you go through security and then you have to get on the little tram, right? That like gets you there. So this is like the little tram, the little train that gets you actually into Disneyland from your car. Okay. That's how I think. That's how my brain works. Okay. I don't know what part of the brain that is, but that's how my brain works. Exercise again, regular exercise increases the rate at which the tryptophan enters the brain and enhances the release of serotonin. Again, with sunlight exposure, get out there. Just like dopamine, it's influenced by exposure to natural light. So spend time outdoors and meditate at the same time. So you get a double dose of awesomeness. A healthy gut. A healthy gut microbiome is linked to serotonin production. So consuming probiotics and prebiotics such as yogurt and kefir, sauerkraut, and fiber-rich foods can support gut health and serotonin synthesis. Mindfulness and meditation. I'm not going to go over that again. You know I love it. Massage therapy. Receiving a massage can reduce cortisol, increase serotonin and dopamine levels, and it contributes to a sense of relaxation and well-being. I highly recommend that you do a massage once a month. If anybody's in Grand County listening to this, Joe at Columbine Massage has a membership where you pay. You get a discount. You can choose different levels. You can get 1 to 2 massages a month, different times, but they're specialty massages. And I just signed up for that and I can't wait because I'm paying for it every month. So then I'm going to make sure that I book the appointment when I come out of the next from one. And, because I always think I don't have time. I don't have time. I could use that money for this, but self-care is so important. So take that time, get yourself a massage, and go see Joe if you're in Grand County and tell her Tanya sent you. Um, and positive social interaction. So engaging in meaningful social interactions, building strong relationships can actually boost your serotonin levels. And as social bonding and connections are linked to increased serotonin levels. Now, there are supplements as well, but make sure you consult with a healthcare professional before you start any supplements. I am not a healthcare professional, but some supplements that can help is vitamin D, especially if you have limited sun exposure. Take vitamin D. It's good for your bones as well. Omega-3 fatty acids, they're found in fish oil, omega-3 supplements. They can boost both your serotonin and your dopamine levels. Of course, probiotics is a supplement to support your gut health and serotonin production. And this one I had not heard of before, L-theanine, found in green tea. And that this amino acid can help increase serotonin and dopamine levels. And then let's talk about reducing cortisol levels, right? It's your body's primary stress hormone. So regular exercise, engaging in the, regular moderate exercise like walking, cycling, swimming, high intensity exercise should be balanced because excessive intensity can sometimes increase your cortisol. Yoga, Tai Chi, these practices incorporate physical movement, some deep breathing and meditation, all of which help lower cortisol levels. We're back to adequate sleep. Aim for those 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night. Poor sleep deprivation leads to elevated cortisol levels. Mindfulness and meditation, deep breathing exercises. I love deep breathing exercises, and they can activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which also helps lower cortisol. And I'm telling you, just go onto YouTube. There's so much stuff. There's so much free content on YouTube for some deep breathing exercises, some guided mindfulness meditations, healthy diet, balance your diet, whole foods, fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, all of that. Stay hydrated. It helps maintain balanced cortisol levels. So when you're looking at this, there's also, oh my gosh, I didn't realize how much I put into this, but stress management techniques. So to keep those cortisol levels in check, time management, prioritize your tasks, set realistic goals, and take breaks to avoid that feeling overwhelmed. I do have a training that I did on some time management where, you set a timer, you work for 50 minutes, you take a break for 10 or 15. Then you set a timer, you work for 50 minutes and take another break so that you're balancing that out. Engage in activities you enjoy. You have to schedule that in. If you have to schedule it, that's fine. Most of the time, if I don't schedule it, I don't do it. So I have to schedule it. Laughter and humor. Have fun. Have fun. Watch America's Funniest Home Videos. Nothing makes me giggle more than watching babies and animals. I don't like the ones where people are falling down where they could get hurt. But babies and animals, I love watching those all day long. And it gives you that inner gut laughter. And spend time in nature. Strive for a healthy work-life balance by setting boundaries, taking regular breaks, and ensuring time for rest and recreation outside of work. I also have a work-life balance wheel where you can go in and kind of see where you're at in different areas of your life and kind of see, you want to keep that circle, round. You don't want a wonky wheel. You don't want, your work-life balance here and your hobbies and activities here. And, you want to keep that well-rounded. If you like that, just put work-life balance in the comments and I'll get that over to you. And then we talked about the supplements, some of the supplements that you can take. Magnesium is a different one that helps reduce cortisol and improves your sleep quality. I take this every night. It also helps. I have restless legs, and it just calms that down as well. So magnesium has been like a godsend for me. And if you need professional help, therapy, counseling, talk to the therapist or a counselor. They can help you develop effective coping strategies to manage stress and reduce those cortisol levels. So that is what we have today. I know it's a little longer than what I normally go on Mondays because I like to keep it all I like to keep it short because I know that your time is valuable, but I'm excited to bring this information and share this with you. And I look forward to seeing you again next week. So remember to stay stunning and stay authentic. And I'll talk to you soon.